And then I'll tell you, today's Groundhog Day. That's what today is. It's the 2nd of February. And I went out to the farm, I don't know, a little over half an hour ago. And I'm driving out there. And like I never seen before, it must have been pushing 2,000 little blackbirds flying all around the roads and in the little farm. Like, I never seen this before. And I had to slow down. I mean, there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds around. It was like the Birds movie, except for they weren't attacking anything. And I'm thinking, what is this? What is going on? You never see this. And then I'm driving for a little further towards the farm, and I see bigger blackbirds, like hundreds of them. Like, these are like mini crows. So there's like blackbirds, which are smaller than mini crows, and then mini crows, which are, I don't even know if they were crows, but they were smaller than crows. And then there's crows and ravens. I think ravens are the biggest of the crow birds. And then I'm driving back, and I still see them, but you know, I'm driving back, and it's about 12:08, and it occurs to me, this is what's going on. It's Groundhog Day. Groundhogs come out at right around noon to look for their shadow on Groundhog Day, and these blackbirds know it. Not that they were going to go, but I don't know what they do, but they were all out in force looking for groundhogs, like an Easter egg hunt. That's what I think. Right before noon. I don't know where. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. I should have taken my camera out. Thousands. And they were low. Most of them were on the ground. Right? They weren't all just flying around, but then they were flying around because cars were driving, and I don't know. Thousands of them. It's Groundhog Day. It's not like November. They're not migrating. They live here. But yeah, I think they're looking for groundhogs. I don't know what they do when they find them. Maybe they're just looking for the shadows like the groundhogs are. Maybe they're just looking to see whether or not it's going to be winter or spring. But yeah, that's what I think it is. And I don't know if they saw them. I didn't see any groundhogs when I was driving back. I guess I was in the farmhouse getting my groceries at the farmhouse where I get my pie and my cookies and my chicken salad. I was in there right around noon. So I missed it. Because when I drove back, there were still birds. They were in a different location, but where they were when I was on my way out on the roads, they were gone from there. So they saw or didn't see the groundhogs, and then went about the rest of their day like it was a regular Sunday. I don't ever really remember. I don't get out on Groundhog's Day a lot. Like whatever day of the week it happens to be, it seems like I never remember Groundhog's Day. Like it's the opposite of that movie where they always only ever remember Groundhog's Day. Like I never remember. It's not a big holiday for me. But it sure as hell was for these blackbirds. That's what I think. Because otherwise, there was no worms out. It was 11:45. It's not the early bird anymore. There's no worms. I mean, why would there be more seeds on the ground from like the dead corn stalks and whatever today than there were yesterday? I was out yesterday also at same roads. No birds, nothing normal, nothing outside of the normal. I mean, nothing beyond normal, nothing abnormal at all. Normal, pure normal. I probably saw some birds, didn't even recognize, I also saw some robins, normal. Robins were doing normal shit. These blackbirds, I'm telling you, they have something, they have some beef or fascination. I don't know what they have with these groundhogs, but man, they were out in force right around the time when the groundhog's looking for his shadow. I tell you, I think I'm not wrong with this. I'm not even going to Google it. I think I'm confident. I'm going to stand by this assessment of the situation. I'm not exaggerating with the numbers. Now, I can't count that fast and high, so maybe it wasn't thousands. And I'm not saying like 10,000, but like 2,000 is thousands, right? Like any more than 1,000 is, you can put an S at the end. So like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Everywhere you looked. Not blanketing the sky. They were mostly on the ground looking for groundhogs. Groundhogs are groundhogs. They're not skyhogs. That's a different thing. I don't think there's any skyhogs in the region. Skyhogs is a totally different thing. And they don't come out on Groundhog's Day. They don't even have their own day, Skyhogs. I don't know if they should. I don't know if they're petitioning anymore for it. But Skyhogs have a whole different orientation towards the planet than Groundhogs do. So they weren't Skyhogs. The birds weren't in the air. They were on the ground. They were flying a little bit. They were flying low. Like they could run into my car almost when I was driving. They were flying both sides of the road, but low, like they were looking for something, like groundhogs. So that's my guess, which I never knew before. You don't see that on the news. When's the last time anybody ever talked about blackbirds and their beef with groundhogs? I've never heard of that before. But it's the only thing that makes sense. I think it makes the most sense. I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I've been living under a rock. And it's like, dude, it's February 2nd. Every time it's February 2nd on a Sunday and it's not like below zero or above like 80 degrees, blackbirds come out. They don't give a crap about groundhogs. They like to do some weird kind of grooming ceremony every 7 years or something when Groundhog's Day's on a Sunday and it's not too cold so they don't freeze their tongues to their feathers when they're licking them. It's a grooming thing. Maybe, I don't know. No one told me this. All I know is it's Groundhog's Day and there's a lot of blackbirds scouring the ground looking for groundhogs. That's what I think. And I think they do have beef. I think that's the only thing that makes sense. Like otherwise, look, beef gets you out of bed and out on the streets on cold days, doesn't it? Like way more than like, what's the opposite of beef? Like good vibes, right? Like I have no beef with you. I'm gonna sleep in today. It's kind of cold. Like I don't have any reason to go out and have no beef, right? But if I've got beef, damn right, I'm pretty revved up. I'm motivated to get out there and give you some beef, right? So that's what makes sense to me. Otherwise, what are these birds? Why are they getting all organized and grouped up, and all kind of doing the same thing? Because they're on a vengeance mission. And I think it's groundhogs in general, not just one groundhog, but I could be wrong about that too. Because there's more than one groundhog that looks at his shadow. Every groundhog does. There's lots of groundhogs. It's not just Punxsutawney Phil, right? Everybody just gives him all the credit, but that's ridiculous. So yeah, I'll make a video on skyhogs later. I don't want to slight the blackbirds here and kind of get into skyhogs, but yeah, they're a thing also. But this is a groundhog blackbird beef. I'm thinking it probably goes back centuries, because animals, they evolve but pretty slow. So whatever, they kind of do the same thing over and over and over again. And to be honest, I don't think blackbirds have tongues. So I don't think it was a grooming event. I don't think that really makes sense. That was me reaching. I was just trying to reach for an alternative, and I really can't come up with anything better than blackbirds looking for some groundhogs to lay out some beef. I don't know if they fight or if they just kind of bark at them. You know how like blackbirds and crows, they kind of squawk, bark. They don't make bird songs. I mean, blackbirds and crows are kind of like dog birds, right? They're the closest. They make the sounds closest to dogs. They're not nice. Everybody knows that crows are kind of not nice. And blackbirds are basically like baby crows. They're not, but they're basically like it. They look like it. And so they were just probably trying to bark at some groundhogs. But it was like a festival, It's like a parade, but like not organized. It was like a giant gathering. But it was kind of chaotic. But it was also kind of, it was bird-like. So, birds don't, it looks like chaos, but, do birds ever really fly into each other? I don't think they do. So it looks like chaos, but birds are pretty organized when they're in the air. When they're on the ground, it's a problem, which they were on the ground today, which, it makes it a fair fight. Because you got to fight a groundhog on the ground. When blackbirds have beef, it's a ground beef. Right? They don't have an air beef. They don't have beef with skyhogs. So I said we're not going to go into skyhogs. So the groundhogs, in order to have your beef delivered, these blackbirds have to get on the ground. And that evens the playing field. Because groundhogs can't fly. And blackbirds can both fly, but they're really good flyers. All birds are. That's their thing, birds flying, right? But when they're on the ground, they can also walk on the ground, but that's not really their thing. But if you want to engage beef with a groundhog, you got to get on the ground. And so it levels the playing field, because groundhogs are they're not the best fighters. You know, they don't fight real good, but they're better on the ground than blackbirds are. So it becomes more of an evenly matched contest. Anyhow, I don't know. Just weird. I never saw that before. Never saw it. I don't know if I'll ever see it again. Like I said, I don't get out on Groundhog's Day very much. And I'll probably forget all about this. And I've got a whole year to wait till the next time. But yeah, maybe that's why it's called Groundhog's Day. Because, yeah, I don't know why it's called that. Anyway, just wanted to share. Talk to you later.